Namaste friends, welcome back to my channel. Friends, in today's video we are going to make these beautiful dangler earrings, and I have named these earrings as tulip earrings. Here you can see these earrings in blue color. I have used lavender pearls and pastel blue superduos in making this beautiful tulip earring. And now let me show you some more colorways that I have made in this earring. This one I have made in rose peach pearl and brown Superduo beads. You can see the antique look it gives. And the third one I have done in lilac Superduos with burgundy pearls. So these are the three colorways that I have made in this tulip earring. And in today's video, we are going to make this tulip earring in emerald green color. So let us see what all material do we need to make this beautiful tulip earring in emerald green color. Friends, for making our tulip earring in emerald green color, we would need these Superduo beads. These are Superduos in pastel emerald color. Then I would be using these pearls. These are in size 3 mm, size 6 mm and size 4 mm, and all these three are in the same color, that is the light pink color. Then I would be using these 11 These are Miyuki lined emerald luster 11 and these are Miyuki duracoat galvanized champagne 11 These are 15 These are in the same color. In this color, these are Miyuki duracoat galvanized champagne 15 Friends, for making our tulip earring, I would be using this earpost. This is the same earpost that I had shown you in my last video, my previous video, for tiny cubical stud earrings. That earring I'm using here as earpost, and it is the best match for my tulip earring. So I would suggest you to first check my previous video, make this earpost, and then continue with our tulip earring. And here I would be working with Hana thread and size 12 beading needle. So let's get started. Friends, for making our tulip earring, you need to make this ear post first, and for this please check my previous video. I'll share the link of the video in the description box and also on the top of the video in the I box. So for making this ear post, I have used these Superduos in pastel emerald color, as we are going to use in our tulip earring, and this pearl, this is 3 mm pearl in light pink color, and on the top here I have used these 15 in galvanized champagne color. So please do check my previous video and make this ear post. And now we would be making the bottom part, that is the tulip, for our tulip earring. For this I have picked up this 6 mm pearl, then two 11 in emerald color, emerald line luster color, three 4 mm pearls, and again two 11 in emerald green color. Now I'm going to bring them down towards the end of my thread, and now I'm going to tie a double knot here. Like this, and now I'm going to pass through all these beads pulling in the tail in between the beads. Like this. So this is the look, and now I will pass through these two 11 Now Now after passing through these two 11 O's, I will step up into this 4 pearl and pick up 3 4 pearls. So I picked up these 3 4 pearls and passed through this pearl, making a raw component here like this. Now pass through the next 4 pearl, and now I'm going to pick up only 2 4 pearl, as I already have 2 here, so I'm picking up only 2 and pass through this 4 pearl and into this 4 pearl, again making a raw component. Now into this next 4 pearl, once again I'm going to pick up only 2 4 pearls and pass through this one, this 4 pearl on this side here, on the left side here, and into the top one. So here, after making these 3 raw components, this is the look. And now I will step up into these two 11 green, into the 6 pearl, into the two 11 green, and now I'm picking up one 11 green and pass through this 4 pearl like this. Again pick up one 11 green and pass through this next 4 pearl. Now pick up one 11 green, one 11 champagne, and one 11 green. So here I have picked up these 3 beads, one 11 green, one 11 champagne, and one 11 green, emerald green, sorry, and into the 4 pearl. Again pick up one 11 emerald green, one 11 champagne, and one 11 emerald green, and into the 4 pearl like this. Now I'm going to pick up only one 11 emerald green and into the next 4 pearl. Again one 11 emerald green and into the two 11 emerald green and into the 6 pearl. After adding these 11 this is the look of our earring. And now I will step up into these 3 11 and into the 4 pearl. Now after exiting through this 4 pearl, I'm going to pick up two 15 champagne, one 11 emerald green, and two 15 champagne. So here I have picked up these 5 beads, two 15 one 11 and two 15 and as you can see that right now I'm exiting through the top hole of this 4 pearl, and now I would pass through the bottom hole of the opposite 4 pearl like this. And now I'm going to pick up two 15 champagne and I will pass through this 11 like this on the top here. Again pick up two 15 champagne and pass through this 4 pearl like this. So this is the embellishment we have added on the top of these 4 pearls, and now I will step up into this 11O, into the 4 pearl, and into these 11Os. Move on into these 11Os and into the 4 pearl to the next raw component with these pearls and into this 4 pearl. Now we are going to add these embellishment on the top of this component. So again I'm going to pick up 2 15O champagne, 1 11O emerald green and 2 15O champagne. So all these 5 beads that we have added here, and I'm going to pass through the bottom hole of this 4 pearl like this. Now after exiting through this 4 pearl, I'm going to pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through this 11O green like this. Here we have to keep our thread nice and tight, and now I'm going to pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through this 4 pearl, the first one here like this. And now same way I'm going to add these embellishment on the top of this raw component. So for this I'm picking up 2 15O champagne, 1 11O emerald green and 2 15O champagne, these 5 beads, and into this 4 pearl like this. Again pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through the 11O green from the top here. Here again keep our thread nice and tight. Pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through this 4 pearl like this. So here we have added these embellishment on the top of these 4 pearls and into this 4 pearl like this, and into the next 4 pearl. And now as I exit through this 4 pearl, I'm going to pick up 3 superduos and pass through this 4 pearl like this, into this 11O green, into the next 4 pearl, again pick up 3 superduos and pass through this 4 pearl like this, into these 3 11Os, into the next 4 pearl, again I'm going to add these 3 superduos around this 4 pearl, into the next 3 11Os, into the 4 pearl. Basically we are adding these superduos to these 4 pearls on the outer edge, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So here you can see that I have added on 3 of these. I would be adding on this and come back. So here I have added these embellishment on these 2 pearls also. You can see that we have added these superduos to the pearls on the outer edge, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and after adding these superduos to this last fifth pearl. Right now I'm exiting through this side of the pearl, and now I will pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the top hole of this superduo like this. Now first of all we are going to cut this tail off from my earring like this, and now I will pick up one 3 mm pearl and pass through this next superduo. Again pick up one 3 mm pearl and pass through this next superduo. So here we have to keep our thread nice and tight here, and here I have added these pearls in between these 3 superduos, and now I will pick up one 11 green and pass through this next superduo, that is the first superduo on this round this next 4 mm pearl. Now pick up one 3 mm pearl and pass through the next superduo, the second superduo round this pearl. Again pick up the second 3 mm pearl here. I have picked up this 3 mm pearl and passing through the next superduo. Again pick up one 11 emerald green and pass through the next 11 superduo. Now after adding these pearls to first and second set of superduos, right now I am on the third set, and here on the third set I am going to add superduos. So here I have picked up one superduo and I will pass through this next superduo. Again picking up one superduo and pass through the top hole of the next superduo like this, only on the center one. And now I will pick up one 11 emerald green and pass through the first superduo of the next set. Now here I am going to add the pearls, the 3 mm pearls. So for this I am picking up one 3 mm pearl and pass through this next superduo. Again picking up one 3 mm pearl and pass through this next superduo. Now pick up one 11 emerald green and pass through the first superduo of the next set, and here again I'm going to add the 3 mm pearls. So I'm picking up one 3 mm pearl and pass through this superduo and the second 3 mm pearl and pass through this next superduo like this. And now I'm going to pick up 4 15 champagne. Now after picking up the 4 15 champagne, I will pass through this 4 mm pearl down here like this. So after completing this round, this is the look of our tulip earring. Now after exiting through this 4 mm pearl, I am picking up one 15 champagne, two 11 emerald green and one 15 champagne, the set of these 4 beads, and I will pass through this 4 mm pearl, same 4 mm pearl, thus adding these beads around the 4 mm pearl like this into the 11 and into the next 4 mm pearl, again I am picking up one 15 champagne, 2 11 emerald green and 115 champagne, and pass through this 4 pearl into these 3 11 and into the 4 pearl, again picking up 115 champagne, 2 11 emerald green and 115 champagne, and pass through this 4 pearl. And now here, when I have reached this center part, the center petal, and after adding the set of these 4 beads, you can see that right now I'm exiting through this side of this 4 pearl, and now I will step up into these 3 superduos, into the top hole. Right now I'm exiting through the bottom hole, and now I will pass through the top hole of this superduo. Now as I exit through the top hole of this superduo, I will pick up 3 15 champagne and pass through the top hole of this superduo, and now I will pick up 1 superduo and pass through the top hole of the next superduo, picking up 3 15 champagne and pass through the top hole of this superduo, like this. And now I will go down and pass through all these 3 superduos through the bottom hole, and into the 4 pearl, and here like this. I have flipped this earring, and now here I am on the front side of the earring, and now I will pass through these 3 11 into the 4 pearl, again I will pick up 115 champagne, 2 11 emerald green and 115 champagne, these 4 beads, and pass through the same pearl, like this, into the 11 and into the next 4 pearl, again picking up 15 champagne, 2 11 green and 115 champagne, again set up these 4 beads and pass through the 4 pearl, like this. Now after adding the set of these 4 beads, 15 O's, 11 O's, and here these superduos, this is the look of our tulip earring. And as after adding this last set, right now I'm exiting through this 4 pearl, and now I will step up into the first 2 beads, this 15 champagne and 11 emerald green, and here I'm exiting through this 11O emerald green, and now I will pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through this 3 pearl like this. Again I will pick up 1 15O champagne, and skipping this 15O I will pass through the 2 15Os down here like this. Here we have to keep our thread nice and tight and pass through this 11O emerald green and into the next 11O emerald green like this. So here we have created this embellishment in between the two superduos and at the bottom of this 3 pearl. Now as I exit to this next 11O emerald green, again I'm going to pick up 3 15O champagne, and I will pass through this 3 pearl like this. Pick up 1 15O champagne, skipping this one I will pass through the next two, holding it tight here, and into this 11O emerald green. Keep your thread tight here, and now I will pass through this next 15O champagne. So you can see that I have added these embellishment on the top of the first set of superduos like this. And now after exiting through this 15O champagne, I will pass through the 11O green, added in between the 4 pearls like this. Now again pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through the 11O emerald green that we added in between these two superduos. Like this. Step up into this 15O champagne. Now after stepping up into the first 15O champagne, I will pick up 1 15O champagne and pass through this 11O emerald green at the bottom like this. And now I will step up into this 15O and 11O emerald green that I have added round the next pearl like this. And now again I will pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through this 3 pearl like this. Pick up 1 15O champagne, skip the first one and pass through the next 2 15Os. Like this. Keep your thread nice and tight here, and into this first 11O emerald green and into the next 11O emerald green. And as I exit through this next 11O emerald green, again I will be picking up 3 15O champagne and pass through this 3 pearl like this. Again pick up 1 15O champagne, skip this first one and pass through the next 2 15O champagne and into the 11O green down here into this next 15O champagne. So here you can see that we have added the embellishment here, and now after exiting through this 15O champagne, I will pass through the 11O emerald green and into the 11O champagne like this. Now as I exit through this 11O champagne, I will pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through this 11O emerald green, step up into this first 15O champagne, pick up 2 15O champagne and pass through this 11O champagne down here like this, and pass through this next 11O emerald green and step up into this first 15O and the next 11O like this. Now I will pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through this first superduo that I have added in between these two superduos like this, and pick up 1 15O champagne, and skipping this first one I will go down through the next 2 15Os like this into the 11O emerald green and into the next 11O emerald green like this. Now again I'm going to pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through this next superduo. Now here, before going down into these 15Os, I'm going to add the embellishment on the top here. So after passing through this superduo, I am going to pass through this next superduo and pick up 3 15O champagne and pass through these superduos, the top superduo, picking up 1 15O champagne, going down, skipping this one, I'm going down through these 2 15Os like this. So here I have added these embellishment on the top here, and now I will pass through this side of the superduo like this. So here I have added this embellishment on the top of this superduo here, and right now I'm exiting through this hole of the superduo and I will move on into this next superduo into these 3 15Os into the top hole of the superduo. Now I'm going to pick up 2 15Os, 2 15O champagne and pass through the top hole of the superduo, again picking up 2 15O champagne and pass through the top hole of the next superduo like this. and into these 3 15-ohs and into the bottom hole of this Superduo. So now here you can see that we have reached this side, and we are supposed to add the 15-oh here to embellish, to complete this embellishment. And now I'm picking up 1 15-oh champagne and skipping this one. I'm going down through these 2 15-ohs. So we started with this. We did this one first, then halfway this, and completed. Then we came up to this one, added these 15-ohs, and now we are going back into these 15-ohs, and we have completed the embellishment on the whole component here. And now, so this way we have embellished the whole of this petal. First of all, we added this embellishment, then we added 3 15-ohs of this embellishment, passed through these this Superduo into this one, added this embellishment, and then again we passed through these 15-ohs, added these 2 embellishment on the top of this Superduo, and again we came back into this one and completed this embellishment here. Now, after exiting through these 2 15-ohs, I will enter through the 11-oh and the next 15-oh champagne, and here we have completed our embellishment on this petal here. And now I will pass through the 11-oh emerald green and the 11-oh champagne, again picking up 3 15-oh champagne and pass through the 11-oh emerald green, stepping up into the first 15-oh champagne, I will pick up 2 15-oh champagne and pass through the 11-oh champagne down here and into the next 11-oh green and into the 15-oh champagne and the 11-oh emerald green here. Now, after exiting through this 11-oh emerald green, I'm going to add the embellishment in the same way as we have done here, because these two sides are similar to these one. So here again I'm going to add 3 15-oh champagne, pass through the 3 mm pearl, again picking up 1 15-oh champagne and skipping the first one, passing through the next 2 15-oh champagne into the 11-oh emerald green and into the next 11-oh emerald green, again picking up 3 15-oh champagne and passing through the 3 mm pearl, picking up 1 15-oh champagne and into the next 2 15-ohs, into the 11-oh and into the next 15-oh champagne. Now into this 11-oh emerald green, added in between these 2 pearls. So here again I'm picking up 2 15-oh champagne as I'm exiting through this side. So I will be entering into this 11-oh from that side and into the 15-oh, stepping up into the 15-oh picking up 115 champagne, again into the 11 emerald green down here, into this 15 and the next 11 emerald green, again picking up 315 champagne, and into the 3 pearl, picking up 115 champagne, skipping this one and passing through the next two 15s into the 11 and the next 11 emerald green. Okay, the last set of 315s, add into the 3 pearl, picking up 115 and into the last two 15s, into the 11 and the next 15 champagne. And now as I exit through this 15 champagne, I will move up into these two 15 champagne like this and pick up two 15s and pass through this 11, the third one, which is just before the 6 pearl, like this, into the 6 pearl and the next 11, again picking up two 15 champagne. I will go down into these two 15s like this. Now after exiting through this 15 champagne, I will step up into these 15s, 11s, into this 15, 11 green, (15) champagne, 11 greens, into the 15 champagne that we added around these pearls, into the 3 11s that we added in between the pearls, down, up into these 4 seed beads, 15s and 11 green, into the 15 champagne, 11 green, 11 champagne and 11 green, 15s and 11s here, into this 11 green, up into these 15s and 11s, and into the two 15s here, into these two 15s, 11 and into the 6 pearl. So after completing this round, this is the look of our tulip earring. And now I will pick up 115 champagne and 3 4 pearls and 115 champagne. So here I have picked up 115 3 4 pearls and 115 champagne, and I will pass through this 6 pearl like this, stepping up into the 15 and into the 4 pearl. Now I'm going to pick up 2 15 champagne, 1 3 pearl and 2 15 champagne. So here I have picked up these 5 beads, 2 15s, 1 3 pearl and 2 15s, and as I am exiting through the top hole of this, I will pass through the bottom hole of the pearl, which is just opposite to this one. Again, we have to keep our thread nice and tight here. And now pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the 3 pearl, so here keeping our thread nice and tight. And now we are going to pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through this pearl like this. Now after exiting through this 4 pearl, here I have flipped my earring, and now I am picking up 1 15 champagne and I'll pass through this next 4 pearl, again picking up 1 15 champagne and I'll pass through this next 4 pearl and into the 15 champagne, into the 6 pearl, up into the 15 champagne, the 4 pearl and into the 15 champagne like this. And here I am. Now after exiting through this 15 champagne, pick up 1 Superduo and 3 15 champagne, bring them down here, and now here you can see that I passed through the bottom hole of the Superduo and then added these 3 15s, and now I am entering through the top hole of this Superduo, and this is the look. And now I will pick up 1 3 pearl and 1 Superduo and 3 15 champagne. So here I have picked up 1 3 pearl, 1 Superduo and 3 15 champagne, and now I will bring them down, and here you can see that here after picking up these 15 champagne, I am entering into the bottom hole of this Superduo like this and into the 15 champagne. So after adding these beads, this is the look. Now move down to the 4 pearl, 15 champagne, into the 6 pearl, up into the 15 champagne, 4 pearl and the 15 champagne. So after adding these beads, this is the look of our earring. After exiting through this 15, I will pass through the Superduo and the 3 15s that we added here, like this, into the top hole of the Superduo, And now I will pick up 115 champagne, 111 emerald green, and 115 champagne. So here I have picked up these 3 beads, and again I will pass through the bottom hole of the same Superduo like this, and again up through these 3 15s into the top hole of the Superduo, into the 15 and the 11 emerald green, pick up 115 champagne, and here I'm passing through the bottom hole of the Superduo on the other side like this, move up into these 3 15s, into the top hole of the Superduo, and picking up 115 champagne, going down into the 11 emerald green, again into the 15 champagne, and into the bottom hole of Superduo. So this is the look. And now step up into these 3 15 champagne, and now pick up 3 15 champagne, 111 emerald green, and 3 15 champagne. So here I have picked up these 7 beads, 3 15s, 111 emerald green, and 3 15s, and as I'm exiting through this top 15 champagne, I will pass through these 3 15s on the other Superduo like this, and now into the bottom hole of the Superduo, into this 15 champagne and the 4 pearl, and 15 champagne, into the 6 pearl, into the 15 champagne, the 4 pearl, and the 15 champagne, into the Superduo, up through these 15s, and into the 11 emerald green. And now after exiting through this emerald green, I'm going to pick up 3 15 champagne and our earpost, which is our cubical, tiny cubical stud. And now here I'm going to take this diagonally, and after picking up these 3 15 champagne, right now I'm exiting through this side, so I will pass through these 15s on this side like this, into the 11 and into the next 2 15s like this, into the Superduo, into the 2 15s, the 11 up into the 250 nose, Superduo, the 250 nose and the 11 nose, into the 250 nose, down through the Superduo, and these 5 seed beads, 50 nose and 11 nose, and into the 250 nose. So here, after passing through all these beads, we have reached here on the other side, and again I'm going to pick up 3 15 champagne and pass through this 11 emerald green like this, again moving up into these 15 and I'm going to pass through all these 15 once again and tying the knot in between. Into the Superduo, into the 250 into the 11 up into the 15 again into the Superduo, now here I'm tying a knot in between the 15 and the Superduo, and into the 15 11 15 So basically we are passing through all these beads twice, and now into the 11 and these 15 down here, and into this 11 emerald green, and into these 15 So here we can tie a knot in between these 15 O's and pass through this next 15 O and into the Superduo. To the 15 O and the 4 mm per and this 15 O. So here we have completed our earring, and now we can cut the thread off. So here we have completed our tulip earring, and after completing this earring you can see what a beautiful look this tiny cubical stud is giving to our tulip earring. So friends, here we have completed our tulip earring in emerald green color. You can see how beautiful these earrings look. So just let us take a quick look over the other colorways that I have made in this earring. This one is in blue color. The other one I had shown you with a vintage, with an antique look. This one is in brown with rose peach pearls, and the last one in amethyst and lilac color. So friends, I hope you would love these beautiful dangler earrings. You would definitely love making these, wearing these and gifting these to your friends and family. And these emerald green earrings will make a beautiful gift for Christmas. And I hope you would love making these for Christmas gifts to your friends and families. So friends, if you like my designs, my tutorials, please do subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon so that you may get notified when I'll upload my next video. Thank you.